Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by Jason Shear. All right, it's finally broken. Let's see. Bryce James has committed to the University of Arizona. We are going to get into what Bryce James means, and again, this is why you should follow us. We know things. Okay, now, yeah, modest Mike. Okay, now, Bryce James. We're going to talk about him, and then we're going to talk about what this really means for everything else. Everybody
How
hit the
cool is
like
this,
button.
though? How cool is this?
Yes, no, that's
That's
really
LeBron
cool.
James tweeting bear
Yes.
down.
Yes, no, it doesn't get any better than that. LeBack the A, very much like that. Okay, we're going to talk about. There's a lot of big factors here. First of all, though, people need to get the LeBron James hate out of their mind. This is the most no-brain move ever. Any team, any program would do this in a second for a million different reasons. So you need to get that out of your mind. As far as Bryce James goes, he's probably about a legitimate top 250 player. He's got some upside to him. I don't know, somewhere probably a high 3-star type kid. He's got some upside. He's taller than his brother. He's not nearly as athletic as his brother, but he's somebody that you could also see playing down the road, Jason Shear.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's not going to come in and play right away, probably. He's going to compete to play right away. The kid works hard. Obviously, he has good bloodlines, right? So his dad isn't going to allow him to half-ass it or anything like that. And, the family understands. That's the one thing. Like, LeBron understands where his son is. The mom, Savannah, they understand that the kid's not going to come in and play 30 minutes a game. And when they talked to Tommy Lloyd and the coaching staff, that was one of the things that stood out is Arizona had a plan for Bryce James, and the family loved it.
We have to give a big shout out to, again, on this. All of these things, we got to give a shout out to Murph. Murph is the one behind the scenes that makes a lot of this work. We got to give a big shout out to Murph on making this one happen as well. We will not allow that to go unseen. Okay, now let's address the elephant in the room here. He is with Clutch Sports. LeBron James is the most recognizable basketball player in the world. He is the most recognizable basketball player in the United States. He's one of the 2 greatest players ever. People know who LeBron James is. Also, at this time as well, you've also got an agency, Clutch. Guess who Clutch represents? Good players that we're going to get into. This is going to be this is massive. It's just huge, Sheer.
It just comes down to, like, I always say, what's the downside? What is the worst case scenario? LeBron gets mad that his kid isn't playing. Unlikely. Everyone thought that would happen with Bronny, and it would be some big circus and all that. Guess what? It wasn't. LeBron didn't come and upstage his kid. He didn't complain to Andy Enfield. It really wasn't nearly the circus that people thought it would be. This isn't like a LaMelo Ball type of situation.
Right.
Clutch is the biggest agency going right now, right?
Right.
Like
by a mile.
By a mile. And so when they're reaching out to certain guys in high school, because now when you're in high school, you could sign with agencies.
Yes.
It is, hey. I mean, LeBron's going to. Bryce has a good experience at Arizona with Tommy Lloyd, and these guys are hiring Clutch, and they're like, where should I go? LeBron's going to say, look, or Rich Paul, whatever, is going to say, look, I'm not going to necessarily tell you where to go, but I know that my kid loved his time at Arizona.
Okay, now, Fly Guy Cole, you're my guy, but you're looking at this all wrong. I say that respectfully. I said it on Twitter. If he's Philly B and he gets Elijah here, cool. Elijah Arenas. Yeah. If he's playing any sort of meaningful, again, this is a guy that is going to come in and develop. This is not somebody that is going to play 35 minutes per game next year. Like you said, Sheer, they are well aware of where Bryce James stacks up on the totem pole and this isn't a 1-year proposition type thing.
I'll go further. If he plays next year, it means that he earned it. Like, this isn't a situation like Tommy. Let's make no mistake about it. Tommy didn't go to LeBron and say, Bryce is playing 30 minutes a game. Bear down. Like, that's not how those conversations went. And they know that. Like, this family is much more grounded in reality when it comes to basketball than people think.
Yes, and again, let's talk about some of their Clutch clients. Koa Pete, he was there as well. All of the so let's talk about Koa. I'll tell you one thing, this definitely doesn't hurt Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know if he has signed with Clutch yet, but the rumor is that he's been with Clutch. Bryce James committing to Arizona hurts absolutely nothing. It only helps. The real key here is he's very close with Burries.
Right. He's very close with Burries. They've come up together. You know what this also starts to put in play a little bit? And I had somebody tell me this right before we were going to go on the show. You might even know. He said something that was very, very interesting, but it's not who the public probably thinks it is. But this very much leads to the possibility of, before there was no possibility of getting Burries, Arenas, and Pete. It just wasn't going to happen. This becomes a possibility at this point now because there's a lot of extenuating factors. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it becomes far more of a possibility now because of that connection.
Right? Was that a hedge?
No, well, no,
that was a hedge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, yeah. Again, it goes back to what I said. There is no downside. None.
Right.
0 downside. You can make up stuff all you want. There is absolutely no downside to bringing in Bryce James. LeBron James on his Instagram account with 1 million followers or whatever he had just said bear down. Now all of a sudden you got kids going, oh, bear down Arizona. Let me throw Arizona on the TV.
Hey, by the way, that was 100% a hedge. Fine, it was a hedge. Sorry, it was a hedge.
Maybe we should change the segment to the Mike Luke hedge of the week.
Yes, again, I'm going to keep going back to this as well. Anybody that doesn't think that this is a massive move for Arizona is not looking at this big picture. This isn't about, yes, he's not his father. That is not the point that we are trying to make here. But they, again, and this is something too that we need to continue to beat home about, is they are realistic about where Bryce is. Bryce is not somebody, and I know a lot of people don't like Bronny, this and that, but Bronny was a good prospect coming out of high school. He had the heart thing. You can tell Bronny, if Bronny is a role player in the NBA, deservedly so for 6, 7, 8 years, I can totally see it based on his own merit. Bronny is a different type of player, though, than an athlete than Bryce is. Bryce has some things going for him, though, but at the same time, you do this every single day of the week. This is huge for Arizona, and I will say that we're definitely at the stage now where you start looking at other prospects and what this means for it.
By the way, Arizona has open scholarships.
Yes.
It's not like they also took Bryce and they have to run someone off. They have an open ride just sitting there. Right. This was always like, it just, again, like I keep going back to it. There's just no downside. And I think people assume that LeBron, he's in the spotlight and all that. So that's what kind of parent he's going to be. Again, you did not hear stories of LeBron getting furious at Andy Enfield. No. LeBron didn't force his kid to go to Duquesne or Ohio State or anything like that. This was like a real recruitment. Savannah came out with Bryce at the Duke game, talked to Tommy, went through the process. They love Arizona's pitch. And I guarantee you, we know Tommy. His pitch wasn't Bryce, you're coming in and playing 35 minutes a game.
Right.
It was, we're going to love you and all that stuff.
It's not really, there's really no, plus let's talk about the national attention here. When it comes to LeBron James, people, and again, it might not even be ones that we're necessarily thinking about right now, but if LeBron James is going to be around the program, if LeBron James is going to be at some games, guess what? That's a pretty sexy factor if you're an athlete here. This is LeBron, it's freaking LeBron James here.
And if Tommy Lloyd isn't using that as a recruiting tool, he's not doing it right. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, LeBron plays in the NBA, but man, he's going to be at Arizona games. And if you show out in front of that guy, I mean, things happen. Like I'm not going to like say it's the biggest deal ever, right? But it goes back to what I say. You cannot convince me of any negatives whatsoever.
The lovely Erica L. Day has joined the chat. By the way, follow Erica L. Day on social media. I put this out there the other day, and I told her this earlier today. Erica, in my opinion, is going to be the biggest women's basketball personality in the state within a couple years. Get in now while you can.
I look forward to Erica covering the Arizona women's basketball head coaching search here.
Yep. Well, that's wink, wink, wink. Okay, now that's called a hint. That's called a tease. But we will not talk about that. All right, now but you should be following her for that, though. Okay, now Back to what this all means. Then we need to talk about the rest of this. We have talked about this from day one. That 2025 has to be the year that Tommy Lloyd hits the ball out of the park when it comes to recruiting. This is the year you got to get. You've already got Dwayne Aristod in. We're going to talk about Dwayne Aristod here in just a few minutes. But if you can get, and it becomes a real possibility at this point, if you can add 3 more super elite top 10 players to that, we're talking about the best class in program history. Again, it hasn't happened. We're not saying it, but hedge.
Man, you're out of control with this hedging.
No. My hedging is going crazy. We've already sold the sheer hedge to
you need to switch it up.
Yes, exactly. But but it becomes a possibility at this point because, like you said, he is very, very close with Braden Burries.
Yeah, and I actually think in a way that this adds pressure to Tommy Lloyd, and we've added plenty of pressure to Tommy Lloyd. But now, if you do the situation and you strike out completely, it's not a great look, right? And you're right. This has a chance to be one of the best Arizona classes of all time.
Now,
this is a good one. There's been some good ones.
Yes, but this has a very, very good chance. All right, now. I feel like we're gonna have to keep saying this time and time again. Rocky Top Woo. Let's see here. This is awful. No, it's not awful. You people that I get that people don't like LeBron James. I totally understand that. I don't necessarily see the issue with LeBron James, but whatever. You got to get that part out of your mentality though when it comes to this, because any school in the country would have done just this.
Just give me the example. Like if Rocky Top is going to say he's a huge distraction and a drama queen, when Bryce was at USC. Give me the example.
Exactly. I mean, there is none.
When Bronny was at USC. Give me the example. Give me the example of when there was trouble in the program, when LeBron spoke out against his son's usage, any of that. One example.
Yeah, there is no example, because at the end of the day, LeBron James is going to be all right. Also, hit the like button, everybody, and hit subscribe, by the way. Absolutely need that to happen. This is what a great day. Oh, hedge hogs in 2025. Oh gosh. Yeah.
All I know is the first hedge of 2025 went to you, Mike.
Yes, LeBron is a Dion. By the way, yes, ESPN is going to have to be around here now. But also, let's talk a little bit about what Bryce James brings as a player. This is not a situation, and I said this on an earlier podcast. This is not a situation. It's almost like I knew. This is not a situation where it's like offering the Tabellus brother, where it's like, oh gosh, this guy could never play in a million years. Bryce has some skill to him. People need to understand that Bryce has some skill.
Is this like Eric Cooper, Grant Jarrett? Is that a better comparison?
Yeah, but Eric Cooper was actually
Eric Cooper wasn't bad, but then he got hurt.
Yeah, but then he got hurt and then he sucked. This isn't. There was no chance that Eric Cooper Jr. was ever going to be
this, and I'm not just blowing smoke here. Look, I don't think Bryce is going to be an impact player his first year, but the coaching staff absolutely believes that with development and like he stays on a path, he's going to be good. And Tommy's pretty good at that. Like Tommy told us all about like Henry, and if he stayed on the path, and we were like, you're an idiot and all that, and we've seen what Henry's done. And look, transferring happens and all that, but they believe that if he sticks with it and stays with the path with his athleticism, he can be a really good transition player. They like him in transition.
Let's talk a little bit about how this unfolded, obviously, as well, because the one thing that we got to give it is Tommy, listen, when it comes to LeBron James and when it comes to that family, Tommy did a very, very good job of making them feel at ease. They could have gone to a lot of different schools. They just could have, for a variety of different reasons. Bryce liked his time here. He liked the connection that he felt with the coaches. He liked his time behind the scene with the program. Again, they pulled out all the right stops when it came to this.
Savannah's the wife, right? I don't want to get her name wrong.
Savannah is the wife. Savannah Brinson James.
Yeah.
Savannah,
she was the one that they had to sell. She went on the visit. LeBron, there were rumors that LeBron was going to go on the visit, remember? And people were like, oh my God, LeBron's going to be here. And it turned out just to be her. And we have that picture. I don't know if we're ever allowed to show it, of Murph meeting Savannah and Bryce.
Can we show that at some point?
We'll ask for permission.
We got to ask for, because Murph, by the way, is there anything cooler than Murph showing Savannah James around campus?
Yeah, we had a picture
I'm
from
going to
someone that
ask right
just
now if
happened
we can have that.
to walk by him, and that was the sell. Like
Right.
it was Savannah on campus. If Savannah doesn't come away from that visit impressed with Tommy Lloyd, he doesn't come to Arizona. Everyone thinks it's LeBron and this, LeBron that. You gotta sell the mom. If you have
Right.
kids and you can't like it used to be moms for Miller, right? Like dads
Yeah.
are cool and all, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to the mom. And so for Savannah to like Tommy Lloyd and Murph and Arizona, that was the big sell right there.
I'm messaging right now because if we could actually use that picture, can we use that? Hold on, can we use that Murph Savannah picture? All right, we'll see. We'll see. But either way, very good stuff. Now, we need to talk about then the rest of this recruiting class. Then we'll start with Koa Pete, and we're going to go individually. By the way, Andre Veras, very exciting news with Andre Veras coming up. Okay. All right, now let's talk a little bit about Koa Pete. That's the first one. Whether he's with Clutch or not, he's obviously tied in with them. So there's obviously that, and Arizona needs to get Koa Pete. We've talked about it before. This is the most below the rim front court team that I've seen at the U of A in a long time. And shout out to Bob Trujillo. Bob Trujillo was the first one that said that. And when you have below the rim teams, you have no margin for error, essentially. Koa Pete is somebody that is uber athletic. He can do a lot of different things. He is a must get, in my opinion, in the front court. You put him next to Henry, and I think that you start to feel pretty good about things.
Yeah, Koa is probably the number one in the sense that you could get one of Elijah and Birdies and be great.
Right.
But Koa, that's your only front court guy left in this class, right?
Right. Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have Koa, you have Aristod, you have Birdies or Arenas or both. All of a sudden, that's a damn good class, right?
Yes.
Like, and the people that would be criticizing Tommy for his domestic recruiting and all that look pretty stupid.
Yes, they do. They do. And this was a shrewd move. So that's the first one we got to talk about. Then let's talk about Braden Burries. The Braden Burries aspect is very fascinating because I've been saying many, many times, I do not believe that Arizona gets Braden Burries. But this definitely helps. They're very, very close. They've been close for quite a while. This helps in a big way.
It helps. And I will say that before this happened, there were some very positive conversations with Burries camp in the past week or so. I'm not saying Burries is coming to Arizona. I don't know, but I know that
that's a hedge. That's a hedge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel better about it now than I did 2 weeks ago, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But Burries would be awesome. I've been saying this from day one, though, that Arenas and Pete are the two ones that I would prioritize because I think if you get Burries, I think you lose Jaden Bradley. I don't want to lose Jaden Bradley, but it is just kind of what it. I think it just kind of is what it is at that point. Now, how does this impact Elijah Arenas? LeBron and Gill at games would be absolutely. Can you imagine how cool that would be?
That would doesn't negatively impact anyone or anything. I don't know if it positively impacts Arenas. I don't know, but it doesn't negatively impact him. I know that for sure.
Yes, exactly. And so you get those, like I said, this is the year because next, I think we kind of know that this team definitely this team right now has a limited upside. I think what I'm excited to see is Tommy with horses, Tommy with men of girth, men of, well, actually, none of these are men of girth.
Yeah,
actually,
I don't know.
Maybe Koa Pete. Does Koa Pete count as girth?
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right, yeah, Koa Pete. But Tommy with some real racehorses that can just allow them to get up and down the court. We saw that in his first year, and he had some dead weight on that team. But if you could get these ponies out there and just let them out of the stable, then you're in some pretty good shape.
Yeah. I mean, it's a super athletic team. I'm all about athletes in college basketball. It is very hard to win without athletes. That would be my number one priority. I know everyone talks about shooting and all that. I'm all about athleticism. All of a sudden, Burries, Arenas, Aristod, Pete, like you got athletes, and that's going to go far for Arizona.
Yes. Okay. Now let's see here. Oh, advertisements. By the way, people asking about ad reads. They all start January 15th. It's going to be very, very fun. I miss the ad reads. It is going to be funny. All right. It's going to be fun. Now, I feel we're going to talk about this a ton in depth tomorrow, obviously, because, well, there's a lot to take about this. But there is no downside to this, and I feel like that we just need to keep saying that. I was surprised. I've gotten 4 DMs from people saying this is the worst news of the season.
Ask them why.
Yeah.
And then when they say it's because of LeBron, because that's what they're going to say,
yes.
tell them to give you an example. And when they can't do it, clean victory.
Mike, can you sing? I will sing later on in the week. I don't want to run off any new possible viewers though. Okay. Now, as far as what that next move is, it's going to be interesting to see how this all does play out. This because again, like you said, if you bring in Bryce James and you've got some of the inherent advantages that you do now in this recruiting class, and you can't bring in any of those guys, then I think that is a real problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if anything, this added more pressure to Tommy Lloyd. But
oh my gosh, we can post the picture.
We should do it tomorrow on the show.
Oh yeah, hey Cody, yes, yes. Hold on, where is this picture?
I don't have it anymore.
Hold on.
I thought you went to bed with it.
No,
but yeah, I mean, it adds a lot of pressure to Tommy. But and look, nothing's imminent, guys. Like Arenas isn't going to wake up tomorrow, and Burries isn't going to wake up tomorrow and commit to Arizona. They're going to take visits and all that. But it helps. If anything, it helps.
Man, all I've got is Bruce pictures in this thing. What the heck?
All I have in my phone is Bruce pictures.
Yeah, oh, that sounds terrible. But let's see here. Hold on, everybody. This is great live. I need to see if I can find this picture.
My text messages are down. They're not working.
Yeah, are they down? Yeah, I'm getting all kinds of bad stuff. But we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this a ton tomorrow, though. But like I said, this is also a reason why you want to follow. Why you want to follow us, though. We know things. And it is a good opportunity. This is big. Moms for Murph. I'm going to ask him right now. Can you send that again, please? Can you send that again?
Is anybody else's messages on Verizon down right now in Tucson?
Mine aren't, because you suck with technology. You suck with technology.
Well, these are my text messages right now.
Right. Oh wow, that looks absolutely terrible. I remember when Mike answered my questions. TLN, what are your questions? Oh, starting lineup predictions for next year.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
I can't do that. I don't know what else to say. I can't do that. I do not know what it is going to be. I know
you can't do it.
Hey, it'd be really exciting though. This is where you start to maybe put. This is where you start to be a little bit more, maybe judicious with Carter Bryant's minutes.
Be really exciting is what I thought you were going to say. Bruce interviewing LeBron.
Can you imagine Bruce interviewing LeBron?
Why imagine it? Let's get
and
that
like
done.
All he would ask about is like what the headband is that if Bryce is going to wear a headband or not.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, you sound better. You sound better, Sheer. All right, now again. We're going to talk about this all in depth tomorrow for an hour. We decided that we would. Obviously we knew that we had to get this.
Almost like we knew we would have a little show.
Yeah, it's almost like we knew. We had an idea. Wink, wink, wink. Okay. Now, Skier, where can they find you?
Watching the rest of the Peach Bowl.
Okay, what's the score in that game, by the way?
17-3. ASU's going for another field goal.
All right, let's keep it moving.
WildcatAuthority.com, Wildcat Scoop podcast with the woman Shelby Ironshear. And with you, buddy.
Oh, by the way, did you see the first 2 tackles of the game for Texas?
They just blocked the field goal, by the way.
Excellent. Keep it going.
I did.
Big BBN, Big Bill Norton. Okay.
I know, because you text me every time he does something.
Okay, yeah, that's why you get a lot of texts. All right, on that note, though, very much appreciate you, Cody James Martin behind the scenes. Guys, we'll be back with you tomorrow at 10:30, breaking this all down. We just had to get this all in here for you. You guys are fantastic. Have a very, very happy January 1st. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Also, reach out about ad reads if you want. We still got a few spots. TTFN, ta-ta for now. You've been listening to the AZ12 podcast.